So what is ski mountaineering?
Ski mountaineering, or you'll hear it called skimo pretty frequently, is the only new sport in the 2026 Olympics. And it's essentially skiing without chairlifts. It's short, it's fast, it's intense, and there's a lot to it.
Is it a technical sport? Is it a pure like physical endurance kind of sport? Like what?
Yeah, that's the thing, is someone competing in skimo has to be able to do a bit of everything, right? You need to be able to literally run up the mountain with your skis on your feet, and you have to be able to race back down, racing with gravity like you see the alpine racers do in the Olympics. And then you're also having to transition your gear between uphill mode, downhill mode, or sections that are too steep to ski up, and you put your skis on your back. So there's kind of these F1 pit stops almost mixed into this endurance and gravity based sport. So yeah, it's a bit of everything.
What's it like to be competing in the new Olympic sport?
Yeah, it'll be really fascinating just to have everything be new and historic just by virtue of it happening, right? Like every gold medalist will be the first gold medalist, every silver medalist will be the first silver medalist. Like everyone on the start line will be part of the sport's birth in the games. Like it'll be really exciting to show it to the world for the first time, you know?
Is it better to be good at going up or good at going down?
Oh man, you spend more of your time going up, so you can probably make more of a difference there, but it's a lot sexier to be good at going down. So it depends on on what you're going for. But
Is going down taking time off? Like, do you feel like, okay, I can take a break going down? Or is it, oh no, that's just as hard as going up in a different way?
yeah, that's a good question. In the Olympic disciplines, we're skiing on these groomed ski slopes, and so there's not a huge physical output, but you are trying really hard to execute those turns super well and make sure that you're gaining time on the competitors and not losing any through those skiing those gates. So there's a lot of mental focus in that element. But then in the individual discipline where you're skiing off piste on ungroomed snow in wild places, then a lot of times people hit their max heart rate, for example, on the downhills, and not on the uphills because you're working so hard to kind of absorb those G forces and all the chatter under your skis and like just the super high muscular output to the downhill. So it kind of depends on the discipline a little bit.
Oh, so it's a shotgun start. It's not a timed, everybody goes through it. You're all racing together at one time. In the downhill, does that cause, that seems like that could cause some problems.
For sure. Yes and yes. Yeah, we're all starting together and racing together, and that's why kind of the head to head uphill, downhill, and transitions become so exciting because the race can really get turned upside down in an instant. Yeah, that's interesting too. So, um, I mean, let's exclusively look at the uphill to downhill transition, for example. So, like skins off. So you're locking both of your boots into downhill mode. You're locking both your bindings into downhill mode. You're pushing both of those feet into position, reaching forward, grabbing both skins, pulling them off. You got to fold them up, store them away, grab your poles, and you can go. And that takes a high level athlete probably 6 seconds to do all that. And it, like, if you're doing this recreationally, it can be like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, if you blow a transition, are you done?
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, the mixed relays in total still takes about 30 minutes, so you can make that up over the course of those next climbs and descents, but it is really, really hard to do because everyone's pretty much the same level uphill, pretty much the same level downhill, and these transitions really make a big difference. So it's hard to come back from, but if someone is on an exceptional level, then yeah, for sure you can make up for it, but you definitely don't want to put yourself in that position.
Are there technical aspects to it? Like, do you ever use ice axes, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, good question. So, in the traditional disciplines of the sport, so we call it the individual race. This is the more in wild mountains, off the ski resorts event where you're climbing up and skiing down in wild places and on technical ridges, on peaks, couloirs, all that good stuff. Yeah, you might use crampons, you might use ice axes, you might have roped sections where you're traveling on a rope in a more exposed area. and it's definitely a wild mountain sport. And then the Olympic disciplines are these more short, fast, competitive ones. But the rumor is that for 2030 and thus then for 2034 that the individual will be added then. So this is kind of the taste everyone will get to start with. And then I think what people will see in the future is athletes running up these ridges to summit mountains wearing spandex and going head to head on the uphill, and then racing down these like exposed mountain faces. And I think it's going to be really cool once we get a foothold in the Olympics and continue to build in the next few quads of the sky's really the limit for this sport. I think it'll be a really good spectacle.
So, obviously I think that anytime you're doing a sport, you kind of got to make it for TV, right? You got to get the TV part of it. Is the part that you talked about where you're kind of going more up the ridges, is that the truer aspect of the sport?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what gets people into the sport in the first place, is they want to go skiing. They want to go to these cool places. And the Olympic disciplines are just kind of isolating all the skills of that. So these transitions, uphills, downhills, and trying to just put it all in this super condensed format. But yeah, I mean, you could say pure skimo, pure ski mountaineering is more out in these wild places. But again, I think there's an Olympic future there too. It's harder to organize, harder to televise, definitely still possible to do both those things. And so we're optimistic that this is just the start. And in the future, you'll see more and more of us and more of these disciplines and these races happening in more and more places.